up, almost gaining some momentum after FSU's impressive win over Miami last week. The Noles felt some carryover as well, taking advantage of an early Clemson turnover. Chris Winkie hits Lavernius Coles in stride for a 40-yard touchdown, and Florida State is up 7-0 just like that. But the fans want to see some old-fashioned defense, and they got their fill. The Tigers going nowhere fast. Brandon Streeter calls his own number. Not a good choice. Roland Seymour and Jerry Johnson flattened Streeter. The Tigers held to 130 yards of total offense. Still 7-0 early in the second when Winkie looks for his second touchdown. Peter Warwick on the receiving end this time for a 48-yard score. That made it 14-zip FSU. Warwick finished with 4 catches for 97 yards, and that's going to excite the Seminole crowd. Winkie added another touchdown pass to yet another receiver when Ron Dugans comes down with this pass in the end zone. 21-0 Seminoles. Winkie ended up with over 300 yards passing for the second week in a row. Go on and shout, Seminole fans. The route is on. Sebastian Janikowski added a 53-yard field goal, the third longest kick in school history, and FSU took a 24-point lead into the lockers. More of the same in the second half as the Noles rolled to a 48-point shutout. The offense was spectacular, but the defensive effort may have been even more impressive. Randy Ruditz has that story.
Another homecoming victory for Bobby Bowden and another dismantling of Clemson. FSU has the Tigers' number. Even Coach Bowden can't explain that.
Reviews this season. Can the Noles gallop to a homecoming victory? Find out. Florida State hosts Clemson next on Sunshine Network.
This is where he figures to play as a junior and senior, so a little sneak preview of where he'll be the next 2 years. And Chuck Amato and Mickey Andrews hoping that it proves to be a wise decision as they take on Clemson tonight. Andrews?
Thank you, Tom. Florida State 22 consecutive homecoming victories. Can they make it 23 this evening? We'll find out. Clemson and Florida State. The kickoff comes next. Florida State Seminoles football on Sunshine Network is brought to you in part by Nokia, connecting people. The field at Doak Campbell Stadium. It is homecoming here in Tallahassee. Florida State coming off the 26-14 win down in South Florida over the Miami Hurricanes. A game that featured a lot of good things, not only offensively, but defensively. One of the great traditions of college football.
Without a doubt, the 20th year of Chief Osceola and Renegade, and all during home football games this year in the 20th year of this tradition. An alumni writer will be participating.
Jim Kidder from Jacksonville.
I guess we call him Chief Osceola 1.
Has to be. 1978. He returns 20 years later.
The fire that's associated with the spear, Andrew, was actually on a torch that originated in Panama City, Florida, about 6 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and students and folks associated with the Panama City campus of Florida State University literally ran it, much like the Olympic here in Tallahassee.
Keith, how much of a boost does that give the players when they see that all part of that tradition?
It gives a great boost because the players know that this signifies the beginning of the football game. I mean, it's the one time when you get totally concentrated, totally aware of your surroundings, the fans, the war chant, all the things that are a part of this grand setting here in Doak Campbell Stadium. And then all of that preliminarily gets released when that fear hits the ground. And then, of course, you still got to get that first play behind you, get those jitters out of you.
Better news than expected. They did not have to operate on that elbow. He'll miss 4 weeks. He wants to be back for the November 7th game against Virginia. He says he's definitely back on the 14th against Wake Forest. Somehow, I'm not putting it past. He's going to play against Virginia.
I think so. He's one of only 3 starting seniors in this Florida State defense. And, of course, Chief Osceola and Renegade, and as we talked about, the tradition here at Doak Campbell Stadium.
Chief Osceola and Renegade right off. Florida State getting ready. Talking about that defense, Keith, with Lamont Green out. They're looking for a leader, and that's something that we can take a look at all game long. along and see who can assume that responsibility.
Very much so. D'Amico Stevens has played with a bad hand. We understand that Brian Allen will actually start ahead of him. When you move D'Amico out, you've got sophomores at your linebacker that the staff has seen in practice that has led them to want to keep this kid in the mix, make his first catch, as you see there, and then get more balls to him over the next 4 years.
It will be the first of many catches for Robert Morgan. Winky, he's looking downfield for Warwick. Got him! Touchdown, Florida State! 48 yards, Winky to Warwick. Another long play, another game breaker. Peter Warwick doing in the Clemson Tigers.
Again, Chris Winky with great mobility in the pocket.
Ball! Touchdown, Florida State! Ron Dugans. Third touchdown pass of the evening for Chris Winky. His 13th of the season. Ron Dugans picks up his second touchdown of the year. You expect 4-yard field goal attempt, make it 53 for Janikowski. You see his longest on the season, 48 yards. 0 for 1 from the 50 yards and out. Just trying to tell you if he makes it.
Polish powder keg.
You know what? Janikowski told us he made it as well. 53-yard field goal for Sebastian Janikowski. And it increases Florida State's lead to 24-0.
This in his backyard, as you see, nailed this 53-yarder. There was no doubt about it, and almost dead center. The way he practiced to kick the football is he had a telephone pole in his backyard. He would back up and tee the ball off, and his goal was to try to kick the football into a telephone pole. No doubt about it, Sebastian.
Who needs uprights when you're putting it into the pole?
Enjoying homecoming so far. Tom Block back with you at Doak Campbell Stadium, and back with a happy Scott Herman. He is the Florida State homecoming chief. Congratulations to you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Now, where's your better half here? She had to take off in a hurry. Ernesta Suarez, the princess. Tell us what her situation is.
Ernesta had to climb the ladder. She's actually the head drum major, and she's leading the marching chiefs as we speak.
I tried to get her to hang around for some TV time, but she'd take no part, and she's out there with the marching chiefs. Tell us where you're from and what your plans are at Florida State.
Okay, I'm a senior psychology major from Tampa, Florida. I hope to play in law school next year, possibly here. We'll see how it goes. I'm in the application process right now. So that's about it.
Well, this is certainly a nice feather in your cap, so to speak. Congratulations again.
Thank you very much.
The homecoming chief. Enjoy the rest of homecoming.
Okay, thank you.
Scott Herman, our homecoming chief at homecoming 1998. It is halftime in Tallahassee. Florida State leading Clemson 24-zip the score. Back with second half action coming up after this.
Deeper, no problem whatsoever. Florida State caps its first drive of the second half, a 41-yard touchdown run by Jeff Chaney. And the Seminoles have a 31-0 lead on Clemson.
Your percentages are in your favor.
Carol, talk a little bit about Chuck Amata and Jim Gladstone and Green involved
Either because it's just been fabulous here. We touched off the top. He's never lost on homecoming here, but 213 wins on the Florida State sidelines. That is just brilliance.
It is, and these guys are trying to live up to a big tradition also, because I don't think there's been a loss here in about 5 years in Doak Campbell Stadium, so they've definitely got that pressure on their shoulders.
The numbers for Wenke this evening, now 243 yards on 14 completions, and those three will give Florida State the ball just across the 39-yard line.
Some are faithful, and then some are a little crazy. Fortunately, they're more faithful than the crazy.
Why do you look at me when you say that?
I was glancing past Darrell. That's what I was doing. Week 48, Billy Rhodes, number 43. Chris Hope at the secondary position.
Bobby Rhodes has really shown some character too, because he's played all three of the linebacker positions, and I know he'd like to have a home, a permanent home, but he's doing a good job of roaming around.
15 minutes to go here at Joe Campbell Stadium. What a homecoming it is for Florida State. Sweet music. 41-0 Seminoles leading Clemson with another 15 minutes to play. This fourth quarter. Darryl, thanks so much. Appreciate it. All the best to you.
Thanks for having me. Enjoyed myself. Thank you.
The tackle, but the big gain by William McCray.
McCray, the blocking back along with Lamar Glenn. Glenn, one of the captains.
All yards passing for the second week in a row. Go on and shout, Seminole fans. The route is on. Sebastian Janikowski added a 53-yard field goal, the third longest kick in school history, and FSU took a 24-point lead into the lockers. More of the same in the second half as the Noles rolled to a 48-point shutout. The offense was spectacular, but the defensive effort may have been even more impressive. Randy Ruditz has that story.
Another homecoming victory for Bobby Bowden and another dismantling of Clemson. FSU has the Tigers' number. Even Coach Bowden can't explain that.
2 yards of goals, stick pins, heavy-duty thread, and some of those iron-on transfers.
It's a matchup that was worth the price of admission. One of the best defensive backs in Antoine Edwards, one of the best receivers in Peter Warwick. First pass, 1st and 10 for Winky. And he throws it up for Dugan, who makes an incredible catch. Touchdown! Ron Dugan just went up and got it. And again over on Alex Ardley, and they're going to have to make a decision.
Sheen. And he puts another one through the end zone.
He's going to
31-0 is our score.
make a lot of people stand up and take notice of that kid kicking that ball, especially if he shows accuracy like he is on those long field goals. And he's still got a couple of years left, unless some pros
pound him down to the turf as the clock continues to tick.
I think one thing I noticed about this Florida State offense, and we were talking about this before the game, I think of any team in the country, they are as close to a professional football, NFL-type style of offense. I don't mean that in talent, I mean in the way they play. It's a pro-style offense. And now you're wondering, why are they passing? They're throwing bombs, they're throwing out routes. If you ever watch the San Francisco 49ers throwing that ball, I don't know about a reverse though, when you're 31-0.
Go down with Chris Marlowe's on the sidelines.
All right, thank you very much. The most well-known quarterback in the history of Florida State is Charlie Ward, right? Not. That's funny, boy. What about this man? ESPN's Lee Corso. Yes, Lee Corso. He could run like the wind. He had a rifle for an arm. He could talk your ear off even then. Lee Corso, class of 55. He was a legend in his own mind. Corso. Back to you.
Chris, you're having a little too much fun down there on that sideline.
Don't forget, coming up Monday Night Football
Against his old team.
You know, since Florida State has joined the ACC, Clemson has never scored a touchdown in Tallahassee. And check in with Chris Marlowe.
All right, thank you very much, Darren. You know, this is the 20th anniversary of the Florida State mascot, Chief Osceola, and, of course, his horse, Renegade. There he is. Tradition began back in 1978. Since then, Chief Osceola has become one of the most recognizable mascots in the nation. Originally, the idea was Ann Bowden. She saw the Aztec, the San Diego State Aztec warrior, and combined the spear with the Texas Tech Red Raider horse. This is the very first chief Jim Ritter putting on his war paint earlier, and the very first rider is back, and we hope to talk to him in a few minutes. The original Chief Osceola, 1978, Jim Kidder. Okay, Jim, we're told he...
And welcome back to Tallahassee. They learn how to do that tomahawk chop very young here. Field.
All right, happy to have with me the first Chief Osceola back in 1978, Jim Kidder. How long has it been since you've been on a horse?
I've actually been practicing for the last few months, and you know, I'd ridden on and off some, so you know, it really feels pretty good, and you know, I felt confident about it, and you know, just with practice and everything, you know, everything went great.
You were a student in the late 70s. How did you originally get the job as chief?
They ran an ad in the school newspaper, and I responded to the ad in the newspaper and said, "Can you ride bareback?" And a friend of mine said, "Hey, you can ride bareback." So he told me to call the number, and he ended up calling the number. And then I went down and filled out the application. So,
quickly, what's the best thing about being chief?
It's just, you know, representing the Seminole people and the university and the fans and everything. It's tremendous. You know, 20 years ago. Great.
All right, Jim Kidder, congratulations. The first chief. He now works in a bank. He's a big star. He is the idol of many, many Seminoles, and his horse Renegade.
And he
say something.
That must be a blowout. Take one more look at this touchdown.
Welcome back to Tallahassee. Darren Horton and Mike Golick and Chris Marlowe. A very happy homecoming crowd. Look at that guy's head.
You got to have a real friend to paint that on your head, I'll tell you that much.
For 97 yards, and that's going to excite the Seminole crowd. Winky added another touchdown pass to yet another receiver when Ron Dugans comes down with this pass in the end zone. 21-0 Seminoles. Winky ended up with over 300 yards passing for the second week in a row. Go on and shout, Seminole fans. The route is on. Sebastian Janikowski added a 53-yard field goal, the third longest kick in school history, and FSU took a 24-point lead into the lockers. More of the same in the second half as the Noles rolled to a 48-point shutout. The offense was spectacular, but the defensive effort may have been even more impressive. Randy Ruditz has that story.
Another homecoming victory for Bobby Bowden and another dismantling of Clemson. FSU has the Tigers' number. Even Coach Bowden can't explain that.
I was really scared of their defense. I was really concerned about their defense.
Another step toward what FSU hopes will lead to another ACC title. Reporting from homecoming at Doak.
Randy, and what a game.